Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host. Dan, did you turn that on? I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. And you're very welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I have a great episode for you lined up today, guys. I'm just delighted with today's guest. I've been palling around and gigging around with him for years, and we've been gigging with each other recently in a few different places, and yeah, it's great to have him on. But I'll get on to that now in a minute. But before I get on to that, I just want to say thank you so much to for all the lovely messages last week about the episode Lisa, and yeah, a few people got in contact on the Patreon. Actually, Shane Fallon got in contact saying that he must download that song. Shane, you don't have to download it. It's already you just have to go to Spotify and just put it in. You don't have to download anything. It's there and it's free. So yeah, thanks to everyone for the messages. I really appreciate it. Where am I hear you asking? Well, thanks for asking. I'm in the Roundy. I'm upstairs in the Roundy. It's Wednesday, October the 8th, I think. Is it the 8th or the 9th? I don't know. No one wants to talk to me. 8. The 8, and it is definitely winterish. Oh yeah. Yeah, we've entered winter. Cold, wet, dark, and foreboding. Foreboding is the word I'll use. How am I? Thanks for asking. I'm not bad. Am I good? No, but I'm not bad. So I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm cuisach, as we'd say in Irish. How's the head? The head is better than it was 2 weeks ago. Much better than 2 weeks ago. And that's all that matters. So what I'm going to do, lads, is I'm going to bring today's guest onto the stage. All right. I've known this guest now for many years. I remember one of the first times I ever met him. I was running Cocoa Club in Collins over on Douglas Street. And I booked you in to do a gig. I don't know if you remember this, and you came down and you absolutely smashed it, and you were like, is there anywhere else now I could get a gig? And I was like, do you know, there's fucking another place across the water there, fucking City Limits, like, and I didn't see you then for about 8 years. He's that good. He went over to City Limits and they were like, we're not leaving him leave. But recently our paths have kind of crossed again a few times, and it's great to kind of reconnect, and we've done a good few gigs with each other down through the years, so yeah. It's great to be able to sit and have a good conversation with you. He's a stand-up comedian with a beautiful laconic style. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that.
Laconic.
Yeah,
Laconic's a beautiful word. He used to drive trucks.
I did for about 20 years.
20 years as a truck driver. Sometimes he marries people. Do you marry people anymore?
I do occasionally.
So you're kind of a quasi truck driving priest.
Natural progression. You know?
Well, it's the way it goes, straight on, yeah. And also a stay-at-home dad. Very hard to stay at home and mind the kids while driving and marrying people, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I had to make the big leap there to stay at home.
You made a decision, yeah, and you stuck to it. But also, he's a daytime stay-at-home dad, but he's a nighttime professional stand-up comedian, because pretty much you're fucking out most nights of the weekend in various venues all across the country. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Paul Crowley, and the crowd go wild.
Thank you very much, Carl.
You're very welcome.
Delighted to be here. Delighted to be here finally.
How are things?
Things are good.
Yeah,
things are good. Personally, things are good. The world is falling apart, but things are good. No.
Does that depress you?
It does. It worries me.
Does it worry you?
It does. Yeah.
What worries you?
As I said, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I have 2 young children at home, so I do worry about what they're going to be dealing with. Yeah. What they're going to inherit from us, the mess that we're making of the place. You know?
You've 2 daughters.
2 daughters.
How old are they?
7 and 3.
7 and 3. Mine are, Harvey's nearly 7 and Hunter's 4, so they're close enough to the ages of my kids.
Similar enough.
But they're girls. What's it like having 2 small girls?
Girls are the best.
Are they?
So sweet. They're so sweet. They're completely different to the boys.
I was going to say, would you swap, but then that would sound kind of paedophilic, so I won't say that.
That just sound a bit sinister, Cam.
Because like boys did, like a friend of mine said to me recently, boys will wreck your house and girls will wreck your head.
100%.
Is that true?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Explain how your girls wreck your head.
Well, there's a lot of feelings in our house. Lots of big feelings and lots of discussions about feelings. Do you know, often at times when you are absolutely exhausted and want to discuss anything else but feelings, but this is the path we're going down. We said we're going to, we want them to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it's absolutely exhausting for us, we're going to stick to it. Like, so, yeah, it's putting grey hair on our heads, but it will pay dividends.
Yeah.
We want to make good, strong women.
I think feelings. We're the same at home with our kids. We're like, let's talk about it. Let's fucking dissect it.
Yeah.
Let's talk ad nausea so that you know because when I was growing up, my dad would come home from work and my mother would bring him into the kitchen and close the door and tell us all to fuck off into the sitting room. And we never knew what was going on between mum and dad. It was like a big fucking secret world going on in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And even with money and stuff like that, I never knew anything about money until I was earning my own money. And I, myself and Noel, resolved to be the same as what you're just saying there now. Is like, let us talk about everything and anything. And even if it is like very, feely.
Well, we're just hoping that, like, I'm sure we think we're doing the best thing now.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in 20 or 30 years' time, our kids will be sitting around going, wait till you hear what our parents used to do to us. They used to make us talk about all this stuff all the time,
Yeah.
Like, I feel that the girls know it's expected now, even if they're not really feeling anything big, they make up the story like they are,
Yeah.
Because that's what they're supposed to do.
That's their expectation.
We're just conditioning them a different way, that's all.
But that's it. I think parents always fuck up. Even
totally.
with the best intentions. Do you smother them with love, like as in hugs and kisses?
Oh,
and
big time.
We love you and you're
Big
safe. And all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fucking dead from doing that shit at home as well.
Oh, I'd be super affectionate, like.
Yeah. Fondies.
Fondies.
That's what we call the kisses. Fondy. Any chance of a fondie?
Yeah, all huggies can't beat the hugs.
Yeah.
Like.
But hugs give you energy, man.
They do?
Yeah.
I think we get more out of it.
I definitely, I'm a very emotional person anyway. And so I kind of use my children for hugs and kisses.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For my own emotional stability. I don't think they need it as much as I need it.
No, they're way more resilient than we give them credit for.
Yeah. What are you afraid of? Like, what kind of things are you afraid of that they might encounter?
I think with the girls particularly, I'd be worried about like online stuff now as they're getting older, because they're also connected to our smartphones and all their lives is online. And I have friends with older kids, and I've heard a lot of stories, about bullying and stuff that. And you just want them to have the armour to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then climate change, wars,
Yeah.
What have you got? Like,
they could get the kids could get the back end or the start end of the climate change, all right? Like,
yeah.
And there's fucking nothing that you and I can really do now at this stage to stop it.
No, there's not.
Is there?
But all we can do is, lead by good example and try and give them the tools to deal with whatever hardship or crises are coming. There's probably stuff we haven't even thought of.
Have you thought about like a tidal wave coming into the city and wiping out the city? Do you ever think of that? You live in the city, don't you?
I do. Some nights if I'm having a bad gig, I'd welcome a tidal wave coming into the city, happily sweep me down out the cove. Like, yeah, I do think. I think about it. Have you heard a thing about? They're saying that Cork could be like Venice.
Yeah.
And that it used to be, and it could be again.
Yeah.
I actually want that to happen. Like, I think that would be hilarious.
Bring in a few more tourists. It'd be very hard to fly our people into gigs, though, man.
I just want to see all the taxi drivers becoming gondoliers in the future.
Where you going tonight, Gum?
Yeah.
No bother, I'll take you down there on the gondolin.
Still not believing in climate change.
Yeah.
As they
it's a racket.
Bring you back to your seaside home in Douglas. Like.
Yeah. No, it's it's a funny one. I try not to try not to catastrophize too much, but like recently I've definitely been catastrophizing.
Yeah.
Like, and I say I try, it doesn't mean I succeed. And anytime I've talked to you, we always kind of talk about our kids anyway when we're backstage. How are the kids? How's Susan? All right, how old are they now? All right, okay. Jesus Christ, what? 7 and 3? Are you fucking serious? I remember when Noelle was pregnant.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of stuff? But yeah, it is a worry, isn't it? It is a worry. Children are just their fucking worry, like.
Well, like you say, it's important not to catastrophize either. Like, we were talking about it the other night. Where we're living, we're incredibly lucky.
We are.
Where we're lucky enough to have been born here for all its problems, But I think we're being bombarded with too much negative news and media and stuff. So it does.
Do you watch the news?
I go through phases of it. Sometimes I'll overdo the news. I sit down at night and flick from one news channel to the other, and that's too much then, and I then just have to take a break. Right, I'll take a complete break from all social media, and I have a dumb phone, like an old
Nokia 36 or 3210 kind of vibe.
And every so often I'll stop using the smartphone for a week or just for a break.
Wow.
Just to decompress.
So I would find that so hard.
Oh, it is.
I would like to be able to do that. I'm going to try and definitely do more of a digital, like, do you know the way every year you make kind of New Year's resolutions and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And like,
going to have a 6-pack for the beach.
Yeah. Keep it to just a 6-pack at the weekends on a Saturday night. Like, right, yeah. But like, digital detox is high on my priorities now for the new year because, but what's fucking hard though, man, is anyone that's successful in our game is pounding social media, are pounding the reels, are putting up the clips, are making the sketches, are doing the stories, are fucking making the posts, or like, fucking hell, it's relentless. Like, and I'm hooked into it. I'm like trying to do a story every day, trying to do a reel a reel once a week now is no good.
Yeah.
A reel before, if you did reel once a week, you'd be like, Jesus, your man's all over it. You nearly need something every day now, like.
It's like this thing that has gotten hold of all of us that we know is bad for us, but we can't do without it.
We can't do without it. Gary Vee, did you ever come across him?
It's almost like they've designed it that way, I can.
It's...
Oh, Gary Vee.
Have you seen him?
He's the super, super positive American.
If he was here now, he'd be like, how many times did you post today? Oh, I posted once. You stupid fuck. You need to be posting on the hour, every hour. Look at me. This is what I did.
How old are you, man? 60?
Yeah.
You can start over.
Start a new business, man.
Yeah.
Start it. I know people in their 90s. They're starting businesses.
Pokemon? Go buy some Pokemon. Buy them in a garage sale.
Flip it. I'm going to flip it. I'm going around. I can make 10,000. And I'd be like... I've never made 10,000 in a month. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just flipping, fucking flipping the bird. But you know what I mean? Like, you're hearing the likes of Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary Vee. No disrespect to him now. He's out there. He's living his life. He's telling us how to do it. But I kind of half do it then when I see these things. Does this ever happen to you? You see it and like, right, okay. Gary Vaynerchuk is after saying there now there's a post every day, so I'll start. And I'll be about 4 or 5 days into it and I'm like, I've nothing to post here now and it's Thursday and I'm feeling bad about myself because I don't have anything creativity to put out. But
then when you start looking at the Gary V's online and any of that content, as you know, your algorithm just fills with it. You're just getting all these guys, with their ice baths at 4 o'clock in the morning and blah 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 blah. Like I just find myself watching it for about an hour, doing nothing and going, I'm feeling terrible after this.
Unless you implement what they say.
I might turn the shower on to the cold for 10 seconds tomorrow morning.
Have you done cold showers?
I do them now and again.
I did one today.
I hate them, they're torture.
They're fucking horrible, but they're so good for your head. For me. Yeah. And like, I give you an idea there now. I'm doing a lot of juicing at the moment, right? But I've moved on. I'm continuing to do the juicing, but I break my fast now with a particular type of coffee, a chai seed coffee. Have you heard about this?
Coffee? No.
Next level shit, right? So what you do is you get a tablespoon of chai seeds, right? And you put them into your...
That's the green stuff, is it?
No, they're just like seeds.
Oh, actual seeds.
Actual chai seeds. Organic ones are the best ones. Put them into your coffee cup and put maybe 10 or 20 mils of water and leave them for 10 minutes. And then they expand massively, right? And then when, we'll say, go back 10, 15 minutes later, put in your spoon of coffee, fill it up with hot water, swirl it around, throw in your drop of milk and drink it away. But it's like drinking tapioca now. That's the texture. It turns into like kind of frog spawn. That's what it kind of turns into. And it's quite unusual, the taste of it. Yeah. And it's like kind of a slimy texture. But
I'm not really selling it to me here.
I'm not trying to, right? Because like when I saw it, I was like, I can't fucking do this. I can't. But this is me scrolling at now at 1:30 in the morning. Noelle snoring beside me. And I'm like, I'm trying to live forever so that my fucking I'm around to mind my kids. This is my train of thought. Like, it's so stupid. Well, it's not, but it is. So it turns into soluble fiber. So I'm soluble fiber. So, I'll finish eating, we'll say it, like yesterday I finished eating at 6, right? And I ate then today at, I think I had my chai tea coffee at 11, right? And that's the first thing that goes into your body. But apparently, anyway, right, this is soluble fibre, and we're all lacking fibre in the Western world by all accounts. Put into your body, and because it's expanded, it takes inside in your gut. It turns into kind of like tapioca cells, right? And it sucks in all the bad stuff, and then goes down through your tracts, and you excrete it all. But it's like very good for your gut health, and also it keeps you fuller for longer. So you're not eating when you have your coffee. Do you know it suppress your appetite usually if you have coffee. But if you have the chai seeds in it, you mightn't fucking. I wasn't hungry till 1 o'clock today. No, like I didn't eat till 1 o'clock from 6 the day before, and longevity. Keep the insides clean.
I think we're all just trying to undo the absolute carnage we did to our bodies in the 20s and 30s, like. And
for early 40s as well with me. Yeah,
I'm big in, like, I love cooking now. That's my thing. Yeah. I love really into food and cooking. Everyone's into fucking food, but
you're into food, are you?
Oh yeah, I like eating.
What's that like?
It's good. It helps me survive.
Fucking hell!
But
I'd never thought that. No,
I can remember the point in my life where I knew I had to change my diet, right?
Okay.
Tell you how bad I was in my 20s. I was living in England, right? Living in London. Trucker. Like, all I cared about was pints. That was it. Pints. And I was having my lunch one day in the canteen, and a guy came in and he went, "You're the one who eats those fucking things." And I was eating one of those Rustler burgers.
Oh, yeah.
The ones you buy made up.
And you microwave them.
You microwave it.
Oh my God, like that's cancer in a fucking wrap.
Yeah, I might as well have been eating a packet of fags in a bun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought, maybe I'm not doing the best thing here. So I had a couple of decades of that. So I'm going to need a lot of fucking chia seeds to undo that, you know. I'm trying.
Yeah, no, I'm the same now. I'm like, fucking hell, man, my 20s. I didn't even realise I had a body for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you know, that kind of way? I just got up and I was like, all right, let's drive on today now. Oh, I'm walking, here are my hands and stuff like that. But I wouldn't. And then one morning I had a good look at myself and I was like, oh my God, you've destroyed your fucking body. You have destroyed your body with fags, alcohol and fast food. Like fast food and alcohol, like when I was in my 20s, I would have had a breakfast roll every morning. And then at lunchtime I could have had a hot chicken roll.
Yeah, no bother.
And then maybe fucking few pints in the evening and a pizza. And not a bother. Drive on. Loads of energy.
But that's the thing. Like, fags, pints, breakfast rolls. They're all lovely, can't they?
They're gorgeous.
I loved fags, like. Loved them.
Were you a heavy smoker?
I was, yeah.
How many did you smoke a day?
I was, at certain points, I would have been up around 30 a day. Like.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were able to smoke in pub? Man, when you were able to smoke in a pub, it was so great. It was so great. They should bring that back, man. I hate that, like, I think there should be pubs where you're allowed smoke. That's a smoking pub there. Go in there and have your fucking few pints and smoke. Everyone that goes in there is okay with it.
Yeah.
I think these rules about you're not allowed smoke is like it's child, because you can go and get a load of cans and smoke in your own house, like, you know.
But like, no one's smoking in pubs with everyone shoving coke up their nose, like, you know.
Everyone is shoving fucking coke up their nose.
Or whatever else is in it, you know.
Or else coming in fucking tooled up and all sorts of stuff. Like this, we're in the Coca Club here now, and like, honest to God, man, you know, like, we're busy here most weekends, but you see all types of people coming in. They're either drunk or they're high on life, high on happiness, or high on fucking weed, myself included. Just live and let live, but like, obviously have designated areas, like, you know. But
and it masked a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Coke masks everything, man. Like, have you ever taken coke?
I have.
Yeah, man. It's like, when I was in London, I was fucking, Jesus Christ, you couldn't feed it to me enough.
But again, you're in your 20s, like, nothing will stop you. Nothing has any effect.
No,
you know?
Just makes you more bulletproof.
Yeah,
or so you think.
Like now, I went for 4 or 5 pints with one of my friends a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday. And honestly, I felt like I woke up like it would be at a 3-day festival the next day. That would have been lunch, do you know what I mean? A few short years ago.
Yeah. Like, I do a bit on stage there at the moment now, and it's kind of my intro bit where I'm like, make some noise if you're drinking. And 3/4 of the audience will go, yay, make some noise if you're not drinking. And 2 or 3 people will go, oh. And I'll be like, fair play, you're not drinking, fair play. I'm also trying to give up the drink, although I am drinking tonight, you know? And that's only because I was out last night. And I was only out last night because I'm going out tomorrow night. And that is the way. It's like it's a joke, but it is the way with me. If I'm going out with my friends, which we go out about 3 times a year, usually to football matches, and we're going out and the match is on a Sunday, I will have to go for a few pints on either the Thursday or the Friday to prepare me for the few pints that we're having on the Sunday.
You need to be match fit.
Match fit, and I'm often not match. Like I'd still go in there and I'd be like fucking 3 or 4 pints, and I'm like I can't hold my drink now anymore.
But the way you see fellas playing matches now, like in over 40 leagues and stuff, who still think they're 22 and they're 5 minutes on the pitch and they put a hip out or their backs out. That's what I'm like with drinking now at this stage. Cannot do it anymore.
But do you still like to go for a few pints?
Oh yeah, love it.
Fucking love it.
Absolutely love
creamy
it.
beamy. Like you can't beat a creamy beamy. Yeah.
Oh man.
And this is the thing, right? I don't want to get I'm still gonna have this soluble fucking fibre in my coffee every morning, and my shitty green juice with my ginger and my fucking all that kind of stuff, only so that I can go and have those few pints and that bag of chips well into my 70s. That's my plan. I indulged an awful lot now, my 20s, 30s, and early 40s. Now's the time to cut back, but still not give up. Because we're not a quitter.
Chia seeds in the creamy beamy?
We could try it, Paul. We could try it. I'd be up for the experiment.
Island's Edge is out of the market now, so there's a gap.
They got kicked out. They were what were they trying to do? Did you drink Island's Edge?
I tried it. Yeah.
I did a gig for them in the brewery, the Heineken brewery there earlier.
Oh
my god! It'd be like you're coming into Ireland. It'd be like going to Afghanistan and fucking opening up your own hash shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, the boys know what they're doing with the hash here. They've been doing it for years. Like, don't come to Ireland and try and reinvent fucking Guinness. Like,
and it looked like the logo had been done by a transition year class or something.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. But anyway, they're gone. We're going to play a game called Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
Okay, with it.
So what I do is I have a look online, see what's trending. I'll throw it out to you. You come back to me with what's in your head. Okay. And it's kind of a tennis match then. Ooh. So hashtag #ChatGPT was trending. These were actually trending yesterday, by the way, not today.
Right.
And I just thought it was interesting that it was trending because at the start of the summer, ChatGPT was... I had written comedy about it as well. I was doing a little bit about it. But then it just stopped. And nobody was talking about it for ages. But it's back now again. ChatGPT trending.
ChatGPT.
Have you tried it?
I have tried it. I got it to write a book for me.
Right.
A self-help book. I did a bit of material about a lad I used to work with. He's a supremely confident man, right? And I was in the toilet one day in school and in work when I was driving the trucks. And you know yourself, Colin, probably after having a load of chia seeds, this could well happen to you. It wasn't going down. It was a 4-flusher, like. And I'm a polite guy.
What kind of a fucking system is able to flush 4 times, Paul? Because I want to fucking go there.
I had to wait for fill up.
A few floaters again.
A few floaters. I was like, can't leave them. So I came out and one of the lads was there, and he was like, "The fuck are you doing in there for so long?" I said it wasn't going down. I had to flush 4 times. He was like, "What? Who's got time for that?" I said, "Nah, 1 flush, walk away." I thought, man, that's like the most philosophical thing I've ever fucking heard.
If a tree falls in the forest.
So I put into ChatGPT, write me a self-help book called 1 Flush, Walk Away. And it did immediately, and immediately a full book came up.
A full book?
A full book. A full self-help. And it was good, like, I should have published this fucking thing.
You could still publish it, man, I'd buy it.
But, 1 flush, walk away.
What's the fucking philosophy behind it?
Leaving your shit behind you.
Leaving your shit behind you, yeah. Very good. ChatGPT. Okay. Hashtag Dolce and Gabbana was also trending, Paul. I don't know who Dolce or Gabbana is. I have a fair idea they're a fashion brand.
Dolce and Gabbana.
Do you know anything about Dolce and Gabbana?
I know the logo, like.
Yeah.
No, I don't own any Dolce and Gabbana.
But it's lady stuff, is it? Dolce and Gabbana?
I don't think so.
Wasn't it?
I've definitely seen some lads with loafers with DG on it and belts. With the buckle.
Yeah. I'd never wear a fucking Dolce & Gabbana belt now.
Well, I'd say I've never seen any genuine Dolce and Gabbana.
Oh yeah, just knockoff sold in Lanzarote stuff.
Yeah, with a logo stuck onto it, like, you know, pair of rigger boots with DG down the side, you know. But Dolce, why were they trending?
I didn't even check, man. Do you like fashion?
Have a look at me, Con.
That's a nice jacket. It's a nice jacket. I must go to the fucking Everyman. I left my jacket over in the Everyman at the weekend.
Pennies, man. Pennies.
But come here, my jacket was actually from Dunn's. I swear to God, I got a big black winter jacket. They're like, Pennies and Dunn's are doing great stuff now. Fuck Dolce & Gabbana.
My daughter describes my look as kind of cool, cringy dad.
Kind of cool, cringy dad.
Yeah. I think she's summed me up.
What's your favourite type of clothes? Do you like shoes, pants, or tops?
I like shoes. I do like shoes and boots. I like boots.
You were selling shoes recently online, weren't you? You were selling boots online, actually, now that we think about it.
I was selling a pair of snakeskin cowboy boots.
Did you ever sell them?
No, never sold them.
Fucking, we'll throw it out here on the podcast. So Paul is do you sell them there now, man?
Okay, right, they're a genuine pair of Sancho cowboy boots. Now, I'm sure all your listeners know what Sancho cowboy boots are.
I presume they do, but there might be one or two who don't. So.
Okay, for one or two who don't, they're a Spanish brand. They're like €200 or €300 a pair.
You're talking like €100 a shoe, like?
Yeah, €100 a shoe. And these are genuine snakeskin.
Right.
And they're real pointy ones. My brother convinced me to buy them in Lanzarote about 10 or longer, 15 years ago maybe.
Yeah. And are they still functional, like?
They are still functional for the only reason I bought them half a size too small.
All right.
And he went with me. He was like, "Oh man, these will be the most comfortable shoe you'll ever own." And I can tell you now, they are the most uncomfortable thing I've ever put on my feet. Probably because they're too small. But I bought them, and I thought I looked amazing in these. Like I used to wear them out. Even though they were too small. Too small. They got me into the pub. I was able to stand in the pub with them. That was fine. I didn't get a taxi home. Yeah. But then I went to London for a weekend. You know, I lived in London for a few years, and I went back to visit my mates over there. And these were the only shoes I brought with me. Yeah. And I wore them all day in the middle of summer around London. And by the time I got to Oxford Street, I was meeting a few of the lads in central London. I couldn't walk. Yeah. My feet had swelled up inside the boots. And I had to go into a shoe shop. And it took two of the staff in there to pull the boots off my feet. And I had to buy a pair of runners. And they've been in the wardrobe ever since. They've moved house. So what's the price, Paul? What's the price point? What are we looking to get for them? Well, I'd say, honestly, if anyone wants them, my wife would probably throw you €100 to take them. Well, I'll take them for €100. So she there will be divorce proceedings if I don't get rid of these boots. So they moved house about 6 or 7 times. Did you try and sell them on Facebook or something? I did. I tried to sell them on Facebook. Is this the marketplace? Marketplace. I've never tried to sell anything on marketplace. Don't ever go near it. Why? Every lunatic in Cork is on this. Did you get any bids on them? I got what you get on marketplace, right? You either get scam accounts that are trying to scam money out of you, right? And it's only 2 or 3 lines into the conversation. You'll figure out it's a scam. Or else you'll get people going, "Hi, is it still available?" You go, "Yeah, it's still available." Fantastic. Where are you? You tell them where you are. Right, I'll take them. Perfect. Do you want to call tomorrow? Yeah, I'll call tomorrow. And then those people disappear into the ether, never to be seen or heard from again. Ever. And that goes on for about 4 or 5 weeks. So you've got those snake shoes forever. Still have them. So if anyone else there wants to look like they're in a Mexican drug cartel, hit me up. Hashtag. Oh, there's a reason why I put this down. I was going to put Palestine in, but I was like, let's try and keep it light and breezy. So this was trending, right? Hashtag mountainside view, right? I don't know why it's trending. I never go in and look at it, but I do from time to time see you going off on a kind of little solo adventure with your tents, and I often think to myself, good man, Paul. Yeah, I do like to get out in the tent, all right, whenever I can. Well, I like camping anyway, even with the kids. I take the kids off a lot, but I have a shed full of tents of varying sizes, but then every so often I just like to go on my own. Lovely. Hike off into the woods or up the mountain, find a spot. When's the last time you did that, and where did you go? The last time I did it was only a few weeks ago. About 4 weeks ago. Yeah. I went off for a night out. I went up to a place up by Inchigeela. I went to Gugan Barra first. I hiked Gugan Barra. So are you camping in wild? Are you wild camping? I didn't go wild camping this time, no. I went to a place, it's like an eco campsite. It's pretty much as close as you get to wild camping, but in a site. And I did that for the reason, if I do go wild camping, my wife does not sleep. Okay. For the night. And that's understandable. Because she's worried that a bear or a psychotic killer is going to get me.
There's more of a chance of a psychotic killer anyway, unless a bear escapes from a prison.
There's
or from
more chance of that walking to my car after this, you know?
Yeah.
But I went to a campsite in Inchigeelagh. I was the only person there. There was no one else there.
Go away.
And even the owner was like,
"What are you doing here?
Are you sure you want to be here?" It was 2 degrees, like,
yeah.
You know, there was frost all over the tent in the morning, but brilliant, complete solitude.
So tell me, how long did you go away for? Did you go for full 24 hours or just
24 hours?
24 hours. So did you bring a 2-man or a 1-man with you?
2-man.
2-man for the extra bit of space.
Yeah.
I would have been the same. And how long does it take you to erect?
This particular tent will take me 7 minutes.
I was going mad now you said tent. I was going to say, and how long for your tent? 7 minutes to put up your tent.
7 minutes, yeah.
Fucking hell, that's quick, man. We went camping during the summer. I'm absolutely shit at putting up stuff or doing anything that requires dexterity in any way, shape or form. Noelle is the man, the traditional man in the house, and I am the female in the house, the traditional female. I'm very caring and kind of playing with the kids and stuff like that, and Noelle's like hammering in, you know, things into the ground, stakes into the ground and putting up tents.
We all have our roles to play.
Well, I'm happy with the role that I have, to be honest. We're watching fucking, you know, Bluey on the phone.
Bluey. Oh, love Bluey.
Aye, my Bluey's brilliant. But so you went away for 24 hours, put up your tent. You your tent up in 7 minutes, and what did you do then?
Then I cooked my dinner.
What did you have?
What did I have that time? What did I bring with me? I think I had bacon. I had a big load of bacon in a roll.
You made a roll?
And I cooked it on a stove that I made myself.
Yeah.
Out of a Heineken can.
Fucking hell, you're like a fucking throwback, boy. You need a big bushy beard. No, that's all you're missing.
I can't grow one.
Can't you?
No.
Have you ever tried?
I have tried.
Yeah.
Again, that and the cowboy boots. It could cause a divorce.
Well, yeah. Like first time I met Noelle, I had a beard, so I was all right. Do you know that kind of way? You kind of have to meet.
I think I was there to your first date. I think, wasn't I, that night?
Was that in Rebels?
In Rebels.
That was actually our.
That's your second.
That was our second or third date,
yeah.
But we met in Spalpeen Fanacht, and then we went on a kind of a daytime date, and then we went to Rebels, and I spat in front of her. I was doing this thing called Windy Rain, where I do an impression of the wind and rain, and the rain impression was me just spitting on a member of the audience, and I spat on the chest of one of her friends. She had a low cut top, and she kind of stuck with me then from that.
Here you are now, 2 kids later.
2 kids, big massive mortgage, yay! But I'm intrigued on the solo thing, because we're getting back to kind of the digital detox. You obviously didn't bring your phone, or did you bring your phone?
I brought my phone, but I didn't.
For some photos, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. Or if there was an emergency, like.
Of course, yeah.
I brought a book. Read a book.
Yeah.
Nice, but.
So, did you go? How long? What kind of a hike did you do?
What did I do? I was hiking for about 2 or 3 hours, something. Not massive, like.
Yeah.
Like I'm not climbing mountains or anything, you know.
Because I do a lot of hill walking, a lot of hiking as well, Paul, and I don't do any like I was in Bray Head down in Valentia Island there a couple of weeks ago. I'm always up in the Ballyhoras, I'm always up in the Nagle Mountains. They're right next to me at home here, or down in Killavullen, and like there's nothing like I'm the same. I'm not climbing up the side of Mount Everest, but like you get up high enough even on the trails, like, and there's nothing that beats it, man.
No,
there's nothing that beats it, and it's like Jesus Christ. It kind of gives me a kind of a sense of. Fuck it, yeah, everything actually doesn't matter at all, really, does it? Like, you know?
So that hike, when I was in Gugambara that day, I went into the church in Gugambara, and I was looking at a bell that's hanging out outside the church, and the bell is like, the date was on it, and it was from the 1400s. And we were like, what? This thing has seen so much, been here for so much.
And we'll see so much more.
And we'll see so much more, yeah. I felt very comforted after seeing this thing.
Yeah. It kind of puts things into perspective sometimes when you see stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's class. That concludes Trending Topics with Cornelius Magical Solomon. Very good, Paul. Brilliant. I've got a few questions for you. We're flying along, and thanks again for doing this podcast. I appreciate it. The question I have for you now, Paul, is: are you happy?
Am I happy? Yes, I am. I am happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely had a very happy period in my life, I think.
Why are you happy? How are you happy? What makes you happy?
My family make me happy.
Yeah.
My kids, they're happy, they're healthy. I'm doing pretty much what I want to do career-wise. It's all good at the moment. And I'm very aware that happiness is transient.
It is, yeah.
But at the moment, very, very happy.
What makes you sad?
What makes me sad? I think other people being sad.
Really?
I don't like to see other people hurt,
Yeah.
Just people not getting a fair deal.
Yeah.
Which is quite a lot of the world.
A fucking lot of the world. A lot of the world. What do you like? Like, I know now we're kind of messing. You're a truck driver. You've married people. You're a stay-at-home dad, and obviously the stay-at-home dad is.
Should probably clarify the marrying people. I was a celebrant. I haven't actually married 9 or 10 people. I don't have 8 wives. Just to clear that one up.
So talk about that a small bit. You like, is there like that's a gig, like, is it?
Yeah, it is a gig. It's quite a good gig.
Like, I mean, I think if I got cancelled properly, like, I'd try and transition into the priesthood, because that is a guaranteed gig every single day.
You'd be amazed the amount of people that think you're a priest when you officiate a ceremony. Like, I've had, like, I officiate wedding ceremonies. Like, I'm not a priest. There's nothing religious or spiritual about it. It's just purely ceremony for the wedding. And but I've had people after, I'd be standing around, with the family after having a drink or whatever, and people, I was at a wedding one time and there was a fella telling a story and he kept cursing, and he kept going, sorry, no, sorry, no. I was like, what are you apologising for? Like, I don't want to be cursing in front of you. Like, you're a priest, like, aren't you? I was like, no, man,
I'm a fucking stand-up comedian, you goal.
I drive a lorry.
Yeah. I've kids, boy. I've had sex.
But it's a lovely day's work.
Is it?
Yeah, it's nice, because it's a privilege to do it for someone.
Yeah.
But everyone's in good form. It's the nicest audience you'll ever have.
And are you do you write the ceremony yourself?
Yeah.
So, like, do you look for little angles to make it humorous?
Yeah, that's kind of what couples want when they come to me to do it. I mean, you're not doing a gig. You're not firing out one-liners, like.
You're not going.
But I'd interview.
So what are you doing here tonight? Yeah. Bit of crowd work with the front row.
You'd interview the couple and you just find out about their lives, because everyone has a story, kind of. And you'd ask people, how did you meet? And they're like, oh, the amount of people that go, jeez, there's nothing interesting about us. I suppose, well, we met up the Himalayas, all right. And everyone has a story.
You peel back the layers and you get there, yeah.
Just give people the space to tell the story, and they will.
And how many times have you married? Like, you're still marrying people, though, am I right in saying that? I
haven't done one in a long time now. Comedy has kind of taken priority now.
You've gone very busy with the comedy, especially in the last 12 months. Like.
Yeah, this year has been good, all right.
Yeah.
So the weddings have taken a bit of a backseat, and there's a lot more people doing it. But I suppose about a dozen, I'd say. Like. And
is the money good in it? Don't tell me no. I'm not trying to be disgusting, but like, is it like?
It is.
Yeah. I think I might sign up. So
anything to do with weddings is.
You could just tack it on, like. Yeah. Tack it on. Yeah, it's $2,000. $2,000, lads. Yeah, plus the VAT, plus the dinner.
It's not $2,000.
$4,000. $4,000. 4 G's. So yeah, just touching on the comedy there now as well. Like, and I said it at the start. I do remember when I was starting, and I remember you started close enough to around the same time as myself, I think, or maybe a little bit after me. But you're flying it at the moment.
Well, I did comedy when I was much younger as well.
Oh, did you?
For a year or two, yeah.
I didn't know that now, Paul.
I did. Do you know Jason Collin? Remember
I
Jason
do know
Collin?
Jason, yeah.
I did my first ever gig for Jason when I was 20.
Go away.
21 maybe. And I did one gig with him in the Hairy Lemon, over where the Brogue is now, upstairs there. And I went to Dublin then. I moved to Dublin on 9/11.
Fair play to you, but a little bit closer to New York, is it?
And I was gigging away up there for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I went to London.
Yeah. Did you do anything in London?
I moved to London to do
comedy.
Gave up my work. Didn't know anyone in London. Just moved over there. And I gigged for about 6 months over there, and then had a couple of horrible experiences and stopped for about 9 years.
I know one particular other comedian who doesn't do comedy anymore, who did very similar to you. Mm-hmm. Started in Cork, moved to Dublin, then moved to London, and now does nothing, has nothing to do with comedy, is like married and with kids and has a business and all that kind of stuff. London can destroy you. And I think before the internet, that was the trajectory.
Yeah.
You got to go get your chops locally, then move to the capital, which is Cork, but like the fake capital, Dublin, and then go from there to London. But like every time you're moving into an area, you're moving into a much larger pool.
Yeah.
And with more talent and with more like fucking nodding and winking, and you know, I think it's harder and easier now to be a comedian than it was, we'll say 10, 15 years ago.
Definitely. Like, I mean, like the circuit back then was tiny here. You know, it was literally a handful of gigs. Who was here? So it was Jason, was Chris? No, this was before Chris.
Pat O'Shea?
No, before. Like, I never did a club gig in Cork that time.
Didn't you?
It was City Limits was the only club, and that, you know, was fresh out the box. You wouldn't have, you know, you wouldn't have been in there. In Dublin, when I moved to Dublin, it would have been that year. Max Savage came back to Ireland that year, so he would have been in it would have been the Halfpenny Ridge. Would have been the Battle of the Axe.
Was Tony Ferns?
Tony Ferns.
Yeah.
He was the man who gave me all my gigs at the start.
Yeah.
There should be
you'd have to ring.
Should be a statue in Temple Bar.
There probably will be, man. There probably will be. Was it like, were you ringing for your? That's what you had to do back. You had to ring for your gigs. There was no
gigs.
Like,
yeah.
And
then when I went to London, it was Time Out magazine. It was a magazine called Time Out, and the listings were in that. And you're just ringing clubs for a spot. And at that time, comedy was booming there. At that time, it was like, we'll give you 5 minutes in 6 months' time. Everything, you know. I was waiting months to do my first spot over there.
Yeah.
But I was in no way ready for London.
Yeah. And so when you moved over to do comedy, and like, it's because it was hard to get gigs. Like, if you were to wait 6 months for a gig and you're landing over in January, you're not going to be gigging till June. Like, what did you do? Was it? I presume that is why you stopped for a while, because it was hard to get gigs.
No, it was one gig.
Really?
Literally one gig.
Great. I love it. I presume it was a terrible gig, Paul.
It was horrendous. Yeah.
Tell us.
Well, I should have smelled a rat immediately when I phoned up for this gig. This guy, you know, I said, I'm a comedian from Ireland here, you know, and he was like, okay, all right, yeah. He said, I'm just looking for a spot. He said, right, do you want to come in next week? And I was like, yeah, sure. I said, how long will I be doing? And he said, how long do you want to do?
Oh.
So that should have been alarm bells immediately. So I said, I'll do 15. I had about 4 solid minutes.
But you always wanted to make yourself. This is the thing. You have to try and pretend that you're. Yeah, I'm at this all the time. Yeah, I do 15. No bother. I do 15 spots. Yeah.
So I got to the venue. It was in Old Street, in East London, and a couple of guys. I was working at the time. I got a job over there driving a truck, and a couple of the lads had come from work to see me do my gig, and the lineup was unbelievable for this gig. It was underneath the block of flats on Old Street. This horrible, horrible pub. I remember there was a porn vending machine in the toilet of this pub.
What?
They had like DVDs. It could even have been videotaped. No, it was DVDs, I think. So that's the quality. And there was a party on for a guy who just got out of prison, right? And there was 2 pool tables, and that's where the gig was, between the 2 pool tables. While they were still playing pool.
While they were still playing pool.
And it was Russell Kane was emceeing. He was just coming up that time. Simon Amstel was in trying out a bit of stuff for his show. He was on T4 that time. And the other guy, Lee Nelson, he does the characters like the Chav characters.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
He did his very first gig that night.
And a little Irish boy by the name Paul Crowley.
A little Irish boy. And when Russell Kane was emceeing, when he introduced me as an Irish boy, the abuse was like beyond anything I've ever experienced.
Really?
Yeah. The whole place just turned on me. Horrible stuff. And
you're coming in with like 5 minutes, doing 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Shit.
And, I don't know that I even get a line out.
Really?
You know? And I had my friends in the back watching this, and just ruined. The only one who did well was Lee Nelson. He was doing this Chav character, and they didn't realise he was doing a character.
They're like, this guy seems like us.
Yeah, he was a doctor. That's what he was. But, and yeah, I was supposed to be doing a gig the following night in Islington, and I walked into the club. I was upstairs, and I remember going up the stairs, and my legs went underneath me, and I was like, I can't do it. Complete panic attack. That was it. Didn't set foot inside a comedy club for like 8-9 years.
8 or 9 years.
Didn't even go to see comedy.
Just fell out of your head.
Yeah, couldn't face it.
Fucking hell. And then when you came back then, 8 or 9 years later, where did you come back?
Dublin.
Was that around the time, when you came back, was that around the time that you did that gig for me in Collins?
Yeah, it would have been that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the...
Because you were great, like, you were all, like, because that's when I remember you. That's when, like, I didn't know that you had done a couple of years beforehand that you had been doing comedy. But I remember when you did that, I remember Collins, I was running Coco in Collins, and it was monthly on a Saturday night. And it's always great. Collins is a great venue for comedy, like. And I remember you coming down and you fucking were brilliant, and you were like, oh, I'm moving to Cork now, fucking, and I was like, oh, brilliant. And like anyone else, you got a residency, and when you get a residency, you can't go anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? And much to my chagrin, do you know what I mean? Because I'd love to have had you around a little bit more, but now you're touring all over the place. But this year, have you seen it? Like, because I'm looking around at all the people that are doing comedy around the place, see how people are going. But you seem to be smashing it around the place now.
Yeah, it's taken off. I suppose I'm working a bit harder this year myself. I want to put myself out there more this year, and I suppose you know yourself. The more you do, the more you get. You know, but it feels like comedy is really booming everywhere. It is. The whole scene is lifting. Like I think so too. Yeah, I think so. It's great, isn't it? Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
people
great.
Need it though. People need it.
They do, and I know you did. I know you do a lot of, we'll say, Bernard Casey's tour support. Like, and like, what's great about, we'll say, Bernard's audience is it's all rural Ireland, it's all rural Cork and Kerry and little villages. I did a few. I did Kilbrinn and Bandon and a few of his back in the day, and they're like filling up these little country. Like as you say, there's a draw for that type of entertainment now, which is great.
Yeah.
And, you know, you'll get an old rural fucking country hall in Timoleague, and there could be fucking 150, 200 people squashed into the hall, and they've never been to a gig before. They don't know what to expect, and I love that. I fucking love that. Like it's kind of opening it up. I think the pandemic had something to do with it, though. Definitely.
Well, definitely, yeah. Like TikTok, Instagram, all that. People are much more aware of comedians, and that there's really good comedians in Ireland. You know,
there are brilliant comedians
that wouldn't have had an outlet before. Like with RTE, there's nothing. You know what I mean? No. There's no one coming through. Really.
And even when there was something on RTE, it was always the same fucking faces, man. It was like always the same faces. They all get the same people getting the same opportunities. So I have 3 more questions for you. Right? I loved the relationship you had with your dad, and I admired, like looking from the outside in, we'll say the dedication and the love that you always seem to carry with you when you'd be talking about him, or you know, if I'd meet you at a gig, you'd always either talk about your kids or your dad. It was lovely, you know. And he passed away there over the pandemic, am I right in saying that?
April 2020.
Early in the pandemic.
Start,
can I just ask you to talk about, because I'm kind of envious, because I love my dad, right? Love my father, but I don't have a close relationship with him.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested when I see other people who seem to have lovely relationships with their dads. What did he mean to you? How would you describe him? And tell me something interesting about him.
My dad, how would I describe him? Well, he was just a really lovely, kind man. Kind. He was a hugely popular man, you know. You could, if he was here tonight now, you'd find common ground with my dad, you know. Everyone here would, like, it's he could go into any company, you know. It's a rare quality, like.
It is.
And people remember him.
Yeah.
You know. But he was just a very kind man, fun. He loved having the crack, like, and he wasn't afraid to be the butt of the joke himself, you know.
Self-deprecating.
Very self-deprecating, yeah. I love it. No, like everyone, like I think a lot of us have fantastic relationships with our parents when we're very small. As you're teenagers, then, you know, I suppose it's just a natural thing. You think
they hate you from kind of 12 to 27 or 8, I think, really, isn't it? And they kind of.
But yeah, he was just a really lovely man. He was always very encouraging, like very accepting, you know, whatever I said I was doing, like, you know, driving trucks, or going to London, doing comedy. Yeah, go for it. Like, you know, there was never any judgment, whatever, on whether he agreed with me or not.
Yeah.
You know?
What did he do for a living?
Well, he worked at a lot of different jobs. He had to retire quite young because of health problems. He had a lot of health issues, he had a lot of heart issues, and he a lot of issues with his spine. He fell off a quarry when he was in his 20s working on a quarry. He fell off a quarry from the top and landed on his feet.
Oh, Jesus.
And only later in life that came back to bite him, you know. But he worked in building. When I was born, he would have worked as a security man, night security and stuff.
On a door?
No, just like a...
Oh, in a premises, we'll say,
yeah. And then he worked in the haulage business. Would have been like a family business. My uncle had a haulage company and my dad would have worked there. He was a transport manager. So yeah, he'd be well known, you know, in that world. Loved sport. He was a great hurler in his day.
Was he? Who'd he play for?
Kilbrittain. Played for Kilbrittain, and I think he played Cork Minors 1 year.
Your old man was a Cork Minor?
Yeah, this is back in the...
Dude, why don't you fucking I'd be fucking singing that song every day of the week. Yeah, do you know my dad's a Cork Minor by? And I mean, yeah, I could have been a contender, but you know, comedy.
Big into road bowling. Fantastic road bowling.
I pass it quite often when I'm coming in there by Cleans, coming into Cork gigs.
Crazy sport.
Yeah, what is it? How you get from one point to another point in the least amount of throws?
Yeah, it's a 24-ounce steel ball.
Yeah.
I think it's 20. Don't quote me on that now. I think it's 24 ounce. But yeah, it's big in Cork. Cork and Armagh.
That's right. Yeah.
With huge money, huge.
Oh, huge betting. You'd see people at the side of the road with wads of cash. I'm driving in here like. Might be 15 people coming to the show and I'm like, I'm in the wrong sport here altogether. Yeah. These lads have like fucking thousands in between their thumb and their index finger, like.
But it's dangerous though, like it's on main roads. People standing right in front of this thing. My dad actually ran a tournament to raise money for it. There was a friend of his got hit with one and he lost a leg.
Jesus Christ almighty.
And they ran a tournament to raise money for him first, and then they kept it going, and they used to raise money for the children's ward in the Mercy Hospital. Yeah. But yeah, he was and when he passed away, there was a road bowler from Cork who was he's in the traffic corps, and he gets a guard escort from the church to the and passed down where the tournament would have taken place. Yeah. And there was bowl players had lined the road as a guard of honor.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
kind of cool.
Very cool.
And was it? Did he passed away during the pandemic?
Yeah.
So was it like I presume now the way you're talking there that he would have been quite well known, obviously as well. You know, so you didn't have that funeral, that Irish traditional funeral. Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was incredibly hard, to be honest.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a time where there was only like 12 allowed at the funeral. Like, there wouldn't have been a church in Cork would have held the crowd that would have come from an edge, you know. Of
course.
So yeah, that was
a tough one.
All right, yeah. That still kind of feels like unfinished, you know.
Yeah. Like, how many brothers and sisters have you?
3 brothers.
3 brothers. I know Pat.
Yeah, Pat. So Pat's 5 years older than me, and I have 2 older brothers, Tony and Seamus. They're 16 and 17 years older than me.
You're the baby of the family.
Yeah, so they were grown men, like.
Yeah.
When I was born, you know, so yeah, there's no sisters.
No sisters.
Poor mother.
Christ, I had 5 sisters. I don't know, man. I don't know. They're hard going, the old sisters, by.
You know, there was no wasn't much feminine influence in my house now.
You did all right though, Paul. You did all right. You had the old boots. Mortality. Discuss.
Mortality.
Do you think about death?
I do.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. It's my favourite thing to think about.
I think we've hit that age, though, haven't we? What are you on?
I probably only look around late 20s.
I would have said 27,
28. 27, 28. That's
like,
but I'm 46 years young.
I'm 44.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think about it, especially when you have kids. Of course, you think about it.
I think it but do you know now with the advances in technology that you're like you know, the likelihood is that if we keep up with this chia seeds and this fucking juicing, that we might hit, you know, 5 or 6 years longer than our parents did. But even at that, like, I'm like, I don't want to leave at all. I don't want to leave. I'm afraid of leaving with my children, like especially Harvey, who's autistic.
Yeah.
like I'm just afraid for them. It's like it's not really about my, like I don't care if I pass away, we'll say. Do you know what I mean? For myself, because I feel that I'm living life on my own terms and doing what I want to do. I'm a comedian, I'm around the place doing comedy, and I've done that for the past 10-12 years. But like, and I'd obviously like to continue to do that, but that doesn't give me the meaning. The meaning where I derive my meaning is like, and that's why I asked you at the start, is through my family, my wife and my kids. And I can't stop thinking about when I'm gonna when I'm gonna fucking die.
And are you frightened?
No, I'm just like worried that I'd go through periods of, I hope I don't die now this year, because Harvey's only 7, and Hunter's going to be 5. And I'd be like, I'm going, if I can get now to when they're 17 and 15, and then I'm like, fuck it, if I get that far, that could affect them as well. Yeah. 27 and 25. So I've kind of set myself a kind of, but even at that, like, I don't know about you now, but like when I was 27, I was no different to when I was 17, when I was 27, in terms of maturity. Like, probably even more immature, because I had money and nobody to tell me to stop, you know. I don't think I hit a level of proper maturity until my mid-30s, to be honest, you know, 34-ish.
I kind of only about in the last 2 or 3 years actually feel like a grown adult.
And
like,
it's balls, man.
Yeah, we're pretending. We're just all pretending.
It's a balls, like watching fucking grown-up stuff and fucking looking into chia seeds and fucking...
My wife will tell you I probably haven't hit proper adulthood yet.
Yes.
Like if actual life admin was left to me, you know, we'd still be eating Rustler burgers and we'd be living, you know, in a 1-bed flat,
doing those gigs under the flats in between pool tables. I'm going to finish up now, Paul. We're nearly at an hour, which is unbelievable, fantastic. Where next for Paul Crowley?
Where next?
What's the plan? What's the 5-year plan? Where would you like to be? We'll say professionally.
Professionally, I would like to be touring my own shows every year.
Well able to do it.
So hopefully that will be in the pipeline this year, or for 2024.
2024, is that the plan?
There is a tour on the way, without a doubt.
Great. What's the name of the new show? Are you going to disclose? Can you disclose it here?
I suppose I can. It's a designated adult.
Designated adult
show. So that's the 5-year plan. Obviously increase. I want to increase my work online as well. Yeah, that's where I fall down. Definitely fall down there. I've had a very hit and miss relationship with TikTok. I joined at the very early days.
Well, it's so hard for middle-aged men to fucking go onto these apps and try and be relevant, like.
But I when it came out first, and it was very young, like it was really, really young initially, you know, the first year, if you remember it.
I do.
And I put up a video. Do you remember that documentary that was on about Michael Jordan, The Last Dance?
The Last Dance, great documentary.
I made a little video about that just during the lockdown, and I thought it was pretty funny. I was doing pretty well on Instagram and Facebook, so I'll put it up on TikTok. And I put it up on TikTok, and I thought, here we go now. My new audience is going to be coming here any minute.
Bank of Ireland manager will be out to me tomorrow, looking to extend my overdraft.
So I started looking at bigger houses and stuff, and I got a notification then, have received one message. I thought, this is it. Let the adoration begin. And this message just said, boomers, get off TikTok. I thought, right, maybe I'm not ready for TikTok.
But fuck the begrudgers. But like, this is the thing, man. There's like, getting back to Gary Vee, he'll be like, just talk about what you know. Just talk about it. Like, if you like cooking, fucking make videos about cooking to make them funny. But so the plan so professionally is you want to be tour. That's kind of similar to myself. I want to start, like, I'm on tour at the start of next year. A few dates in. A Bird in the Hand is the name of my show. And I
had a bird in the hand today, actually.
You had a bird in the hand?
I got a text from my wife this morning. And the text just said, OMG, there's a bird in the bedroom. And then I got a series of texts saying, it's fine, he's gone. There's bird shit everywhere. And it's true, there's a bird in the house. That could be your next show, no? But I
bird in the house.
I went home and she had to go to a meeting. She went up to work, and I went upstairs and there was bird shit everywhere. So I cleaned it all up, and I was getting my daughter ready for gymnastics class this afternoon. I went up to her bedroom to get her outfit, And I walked into the room and I just saw this thing out of my peripheral on the light. And as I turned around, a bird flew past my head into the window. And my soul left my body for a couple of brief seconds. I screamed like a girl in the house. The girls were like, "Daddy, are you okay? What's wrong?" And it was a bird still in the house.
Jesus. Fucking hell. Wildlife, man. Just looking to get a bit of heat in this fucking weather, I suppose, you know. Yeah, so that's professionally. Where do you want to be spiritually and emotionally?
Emotionally
or spiritually? They kind of interlink.
I would like to be I'd like to be a bit more zen, but a bit more stoic.
Yeah. What do you mean by that now, like?
To just not get as anxious about stuff, the world. Anxiety
is an interesting one, isn't it? I never had anxiety until a few years ago, really, like, you know, and it's like, it's a constant thing in my life now, like. Yeah. It's a fucking constant battle.
I think there's an epidemic of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, like, you know, when you be younger, you might hear your mother say, she's fierce anxious or something like that, like, but in my 20s I never had any anxiety. I never ever had, or worry or anything like that, but only in the last, maybe since the kids came, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the kids that fucking...
I always would have had a bit of it.
Did you?
Yeah. In my 20s I would have had periods where I was...
How do you deal with anxiety?
Well, in my 20s I would have dealt with it by putting as many pints as humanly possible into my mouth.
Yeah. And it worked well. It worked
great. Now I literally would have to talk yourself down from it, you know, because it can build up. I could, like, physically
get a knot.
Yeah. It's just perspective, isn't it?
Do you do anything to alleviate it, like breathing techniques or meditation?
Yeah, I do. I do some breathing techniques.
Tapping. Do you ever do tapping? I started this healing course in the Nano-Nagel Centre there a couple of weeks ago. It's a 6-week course given by a nun, and it was energy cleansing and stuff like that. So I love all that hippie stuff. I fucking love it, you know. I'm me, and I think there's about 6 or 7 other people in the class, mostly women. And it's been given by a nun, and she was showing us this tapping technique to center you and to bring you back when you're anxious. And I've been doing it the last couple of days now, and like, maybe it's placebo now, but I'm like fucking zen as fuck. Yeah. The last couple of days. But what about breathing? What do you do to?
Just simple stuff like box breathing and that kind of thing, you know. I'm just reading Dermot Whelan's book there, his mindfulness book, but it's nothing major. Like, I'll start doing these things, then sure life kind of gets in the way a bit, and you forget to make time for this stuff. You know,
it's like what we were saying with the habits, like with the juicing or the fucking chia seeds or the box breathing or the deep breathing or whatever it is. We have all the knowledge. But it's the application of the knowledge that is the difficult thing. It's like even with food. Like, I know that pizza is bad. Yeah. I know that having 7 or 8 pints and a big massive pizza is not good for me. But I'm going to do it every now and then because I love it. Do you know what I mean?
And that's important too, though.
It is important, but it's waking up the next morning and doing that box breathing or going for that walk. Or like, it's putting the application of the habits, making the habit a habit, I suppose. Yeah. That's what I've always had the challenge with myself down through the years, and then I suppose I'm only kind of realizing it in the last maybe year, 2 years, that I need to fucking have non-negotiable habits. Yeah. Do you know, that kind of way? And I think that definitely helps, and I've started to implement that a small bit. I'm by nowhere near there now, but I'm always interested to hear other people do they have any habits, or do they find it difficult?
I like to get out in nature, like, and I definitely need time on my own. Because I suppose driving trucks for years and years, I was always on my own. Like, I would be probably a loner naturally, like, you know, I'm quite happy in my own company. I have a great circle of friends. Yeah. But I need that time on my own, and my wife is fantastic for making sure
She probably fucking delighted to see the back of you, man. My wife is delighted to see the back of me when I'm going out to gigs as well. Do you know what I mean? Babe, I need to go away there for 24 hours.
See you later, Paul. Snakeskin cowboy boots, huh?
Take the boots with you, boy. Come here. Absolutely lovely conversation. Thank you so much for coming on to my podcast.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, it was great.
And I remember you had your own podcast, and we were talking about this during the pandemic, and but you were scripting it. It was like I thought it was great, but as you said to me the last day, it took a lot of work. And I would imagine the way you had it done, it was like very like different characters and sound effects, but it was great. It was great. So I look forward to seeing whatever you put out online over the next couple of months. I don't know what it is. If people want to see you or hear you, if they want to see you, you're the resident host in City Limits. So you're there most weekends. If you're not there, you're doing some tour support, or you'll presumably be doing your own tour as well at some stage next year.
Yeah.
If you're online and you're looking for you, what are your
Paul Crowley Comedian.
Paul Crowley Comedian on all platforms.
On all platforms.
Yeah. All right. Listen, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Staying by the wall, brother. Peace and love.